It's Ginger, like the spice. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Ginger, like the spice, and welcome back to the Ginger Snaps podcast. On today's podcast, we're going to talk about how you are too productive and it's causing you to be tired and it's causing you to kind of not be productive anymore. I was having this little bit of a funk. So I was actually today going through a little funk where I just didn't feel like doing anything. And I actually had the same issue yesterday where I just didn't feel like doing anything. I just wanted to like lay in bed, eat snacks. I just wanted to sit back, relax, and chill. But I was anxious. So I woke up yesterday and I was anxious and I'm just like, what am I supposed to be doing? And I'm always thinking about what am I supposed to do? I gotta keep doing, I gotta work more, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I like was talking to my mom and my mom was like, why don't you just relax? And I'm like, Mom, I don't have time to relax because I'm sitting here trying to get things done. I'm trying to build this business. I'm trying to get these, get a community and build subscribers and build more podcasting stuff. Just all these things I'm doing. And my mom was like, but you're doing too much and you need to just relax. And so I'm like, okay, I understand. I get it. So I was just like, I'm just going to take my time on these things, take my time on these other things and whatever. But like I woke up this morning and I'm like, I'm still tired. And I'm not talking about like physically tired, but more like mentally tired. Like I'm just tired. I just don't feel like doing anything. Not necessarily because I'm like lazy, but I just don't feel like it. Like I don't have the mental energy to do anything. And I realized that through talking to my mom and my sister's watching this, love you girl. But talking to my mom, talking to my sister, I realized that me being so productive is working like it's an adverse effect. I'm so productive and working on being so productive and producing so many things and doing so many things that I'm actually like not doing, I don't want to say not doing much at all, but it's like hurting me. And so if you are like going through like a funk, or maybe you're tired, or maybe you're like you feel like you're not being super productive, maybe because you're doing too much, or maybe you just came out of a period where you were being too productive, where you were producing too many things. um and so one thing about it is when you have so many things on your plate where you're trying to be this and that, and you're trying to be this to this person and that. Because let's think about it, all the categories of life. We have family, we have friends, right? So you have family, friends. Some people categorize that into, one, loved ones. I kind of separate it because my I love my friends, but it's different obligations. So you have family, you have friends, you have work, then you have maybe if you're a parent, or a guardian or taking care of, kiddos or whatever. Then you have marriage, like if you're a spouse or if you're a partner, right? So relationships. And then last but not least, and actually it's probably 10,000 other things, you have yourself and your own sanity and self-care. And then within yourself, there's things like, are you building a business, self-care, health and fitness, appearance, whatever? And so there are just so many categories, so many things that we can work on at one time, so many projects. And I find myself getting into project paralysis. So we also talk about analysis paralysis, where you plan things out and you're like, oh my gosh, I have these 15,000 things that I need to be doing. And I'm looking at the analytics and the data. But like, there's also a thing where you can get into project paralysis, where it's like you have so many projects going on at one time that you get fatigued and you end up doing nothing. And so I want to sit here and talk about how we can get out of like productivity paralysis, and just from being too productive and tiring ourselves out. So I have like a like 10 or 11 different tips, things that I'm gonna do, as well as like things that we should all do. And let's roll right into it. And as I'm giving my tips, if there's anything that resonates with you, or also like if you have some extra stuff, please leave it in the comment section because we all helping each other out because we all struggling in these streets. All right. So first thing is, already said, putting too many things on your plate. You need to do one thing at a time. You need to remember that there is one day. God gives us one day, not 2 days, not 3 days, not weeks. And we are so anxious. I know because I'm guilty of this. This is why I'm talking about it. So anxious, and we are looking so much into the future and what's going to happen tomorrow and how we're going to look tomorrow and what we're going to sound like tomorrow. And it's just like we just so focused on tomorrow. We're so focused on the future. We're so focused on, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? How are we going to get ABC done the next day or later? When it's like we should be living in the present moment and not putting all that stuff on your plate. You got to do one day at a time, one thing at a time. So the first step is one day, one thing at a time. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Obviously, it all is easier said than done. But you got to remember, like, okay, I have this one day, I have this one moment, because tomorrow's not promised to none of us. So what are you gonna do with this one day and this one moment? There was who was it? It was Emmett Smith, I think, that said this, where he was like, you have to and I'm paraphrasing, but like, give it your all or live this day like it's your last, you know? And I'm just like, you really do, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. So one day, one thing at a time, and appreciate what is now. And it's like, okay, so one day, one at a time, appreciating what is now. How do I do that? Well, first of all, living more in the moment and being more present. Being present over being productive is the thing. Being present over being productive, and that's kind of like another tip, but they all tie together. But you have to live in this moment. Watch the sunset, the sunrise, sip a cup of coffee, read a book, journal. There's just so many different things. Do some yoga and think do not think about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do later? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen this day, that day, and the other? Instead of thinking about all those things, sit there and take a moment and be like, okay, what do I appreciate right now? And this can go into gratitude as well. Gratitude and being thankful and being, and just really going into that. But like, just embracing the now, embracing the moment, and being present. Like, if you are with family and friends, being present with them, not necessarily scrolling or texting or doing those type of things. I know that I have been guilty of, when I'm with family or with friends, I'll be on my phone, I'll start planning another project, and it's like, Jen, chill. You need to take this time to be present with the people that you love, because they're not going to always be here for you. And so you need to take that time to be present with the people that you love. Take the time to just be in the moment and not be so concerned and consumed with what's going to happen later, because this moment is fleeting. You're not going to get it back, and you have to enjoy this moment. Yes, you want to get things done, but then at the same time, like, this time will not come around again. Enjoy the day, enjoy the time, enjoy your family and loved ones, and spend time with people you love. Spend time doing the things that you love, because it's all important. You should be doing that, because we get into this mode of racing and rushing, like we're racing against time. And I find that it feels like you race against time, and time is not going to move any faster or any slower for you, honey. None of us are that important for time to be like, yeah, I'm gonna move a little faster for you. We give ourselves too much credit. Like, time is just rushing. It's not rushing. Time is time. Time is moving as it always has moved, as it always has been. We just interpret it differently. As we get older, we interpret time differently. Like, I remember as a kid, it's like some things took forever. And then as an adult, it seems like some things take forever, but it's all perspective. Because think about it, things that you don't enjoy, since they take the longest time. When you don't like to do it, it takes the longest time ever. And it's like, and it's tedious, right? But things that you love to do, days that you love, they just go by so fast, because it's perspective. It's not that time is slowing up or speeding up and slowing down. It's the fact that your perspective on time is different. So we need to learn how to make more time by taking the time and being more present, and then we'll be able to enjoy the time, and the time won't move as fast, or won't feel like it's moving as fast, or even if it does still feel like it's moving fast, we still enjoying it. And so I guess all of this is like, with the productivity, is like time, because that's what really we're doing. It always feels like a fight against time. When you're being productive, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get these things done in this amount of time. I need to execute these goals in this amount of time. And don't get me wrong, I'm all one for planning, right? I sit here, I plan on my devices, I plan in my notebook, and I even have note cards. and write down plans and goals and stuff like that. But it's just like, and it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with doing that. It's nothing wrong with taking the time and setting goals because you want to get things accomplished. I get it. You want to get things accomplished. You want to leave a legacy. You want to help people. Whatever you want to do. I mean, it's valid. I feel it. Um, and nothing is wrong with that. That's totally okay because I do it. I set goals all the time, and putting your goals in time helps you accomplish them. When you're like, okay, I need to get this done today, that tomorrow, and that the next day. So this is not me saying throw away your plans and don't take the time to like set time frames. I'm saying time a lot, but like, having a time frame, having a destination, having a goal and whatever in a certain period. But at the same time, it's like there everything needs this balance. You have to maintain everything in moderation. There are moments when you do that, and then there are also moments where you need to balance and be able to enjoy and not rush and not fight against it. Because you're fighting a losing battle. We cannot fight against that. It's gonna move forward with or without us. Time will move forward with or without us. So stop fighting it. Stop trying to race it. Stop trying to rush it. And once again, be present. And stop focusing on the future and worrying about the past. Because, honey, this is something I have bad. We spend a lot of time. This podcast is really just about time. We spend a lot of it worrying. And I know I do. Worrying about, oh my gosh, I didn't get this done yesterday. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and having these regrets. And then on the flip side of that, then you are like concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow. You see, it's like a double edged sword, which is why, once again, being present just really comes into that. Um, and so those like my first 3, 4 tips. I would say tip number 4 would be we we chase material things. I'm guilty of this. We all are chasing material things, chasing cars, chasing clothes, chasing shoes, chasing money. We gotta stop chasing money. Emphasis on we. I didn't say you gotta stop chasing money and we gotta stop chasing money. Your girl is in that, she's in that group too. But we chase it, which is why we try to produce so much, which is why we work so hard. So I am a recovering workaholic. I work all the time. I'm still working on not working all the time. But when you work all the time, you tire yourself out, you wear yourself down, and then you wonder why you can no longer be productive or do things. And I guess all these first few tips are really leading into burnout when you are not present, when you are fighting and rushing against time, when you're chasing materials that don't last, um, and when you're always feeling the pressure to produce, you get burned out, which is why you're tired because you're burned out. You're burned out. Your body and your mind and your soul is telling you to rest, where you need to take the time to rest, take minutes to rest and step back and not always try to chase and go and be and just exist. I had a friend earlier I was talking to on the phone. He was talking about just existing. We don't take the time to just exist. We are always trying to accomplish and conquer. I noticed that too. And I don't know if it's just like our society because we're very individualistic society where every time we turn around, we want to conquer. We want to conquer and be productive and produce and go and make money and work. And it's so unhealthy to work all the time, to go all the time, to not rest. Those people who are widely successful who say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll sleep later. I'll rest later. Don't you listen to them. They will have you in the hospital. Don't you listen to them because you need your rest. You need that. And then overall, we need to be enjoying life. You cannot enjoy life if you're burned out and tired. You get burned out and tired by trying to do too much, having too many projects and stuff like that. And that once again leads you to being tired, leads you to being fatigued, and you can't enjoy your life. So now not only are you tired, now you're unhappy, now you're unfulfilled. And this is how it all goes together. Because we are all like, okay, we want this, we want that, we have all these wants and desires and things like that. And so we try to work all the time to get them, but then we start living lives that are unfulfilling. You start being overwhelmed. You start being stressed out all the time. And you forgot to watch the sunset. You forgot that we live on earth and that we get this one time to live on this earth. We get this one life to live. And you forget about those things that are important to you by chasing those materials and things that won't last. And nothing's wrong with wanting nice things. Your girl wants nice things. I want to be able to make money. I want to be able to have nice shoes, clothes, all those type of things and whatever else. But like the things that bring you internal happiness are things that we should be focusing on and not just rushing after that. Because if we're only doing it for the money, if we're only doing it for the success, we're not going to be fulfilled. We're not going to be fulfilled. Um, and so that's kind of that particular portion. I also wanted to step in a different direction. I mean, all still related, but kind of step in a different direction of like if you are not somebody, maybe you're just in a funk and you're not like working all the time or super productive, but maybe you've been in a long funk and you're just like I'm just tired all the time, or I can't motivate myself. I'm trying to push myself to do things and I'm just not there. And maybe you're not somebody that's working all the time, or you not super productive or whatever. So you burnout might not be your thing. So for the people who are like, I don't think it's burnout, something else. It could also be just mental health. And in no way am I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I am not a therapist. Please seek resources, seek mental health resources, professionals. But mental health, having a cluttered mind, not replenishing yourself, not filling your cup, not pouring back into yourself, and taking moments of just self care, taking a hot bubble bath, getting that cup of coffee, making yourself a nice, luxurious dinner, taking yourself out to dinner, going to do something fun. Just you might be in a funk. And maybe you have a long period where you've been unmotivated or not productive because you feel like because you haven't recharged. You're not recharging yourself just from the day-to-day traumas of life. Let me tell you, life can be traumatic. These people driving wild, everybody don't care, nobody cares about each other anymore, and it can be a lot. But even without those things, it's just like as seasons change, as life and death and just all these other aspects of life, all these other things that come with living, pain and joy and being scared, and just all these things that come can be exhausting. Existing is exhausting. Just living life is exhausting. And if you are just somebody that's exhausted by living life, there are things you can do as well. I know for me, when my mind is cluttered, my space is cluttered. As I look at a cluttered space, when my mind is cluttered, my space is cluttered. So a step for you, for all of us, will be to clean your space. Clean, organize, and you don't have to do it all in one day. Take piles at a time. One of the biggest things I've done in the past few months is clean my junk drawer. Honestly, it's probably the biggest thing I've done all year. And it wasn't even a super huge action, but cleaning my junk drawer that's been my junk drawer for years. I'm talking about I moved here to my new place and still have the same junk drawer, just picked it up and moved it. What sense does that make? But I cleaned out that junk drawer. I combed through it. I reorganized it. And my mind has been much clearer since I've done that. So maybe you need to wash clothes, fold, organize a space. organize one bookshelf, whatever you need to do, but get your space together. You need to get your space together, and you cannot compromise on that. You got to get your space together. That has to make sense for you. Like organizing it, color coding it, cleaning it, because how your space looks in that your house, one room, whatever, how your space looks, how it smells makes a big difference. Get you some candles, get you some Glade plugins, but you gotta get your space together, because if you have a cluttered space, you have a cluttered mind, and a lot of times you have a cluttered mind, you have a cluttered space. So guess what? Help your mind unclutter, clean the space, because it's also overstimulation. You're looking at all these things and you're just overwhelmed with all the stimulation. Clean your space. Definitely something that helped me out. And that could be a thing. Um if you're somebody that's living in restriction, that can also make you tired. Living in restriction. Like, no, I'm not going to buy the coffee. No, I'm not going to buy that. No, I'm not going to buy this. I know when I first started working, I was very restrictive. I was saving every last penny, every last dollar, and I was so unhappy. You would think, oh, saving, you can, have more money in your bank account, whatever. No. I mean, yeah, you're going to have more money in your bank account, but you also, if you're not using your money to get the things that you want, not just your needs, but also getting things that you want, doing things that you want. We are still humans. We are on this earth to have an experience. You gotta engage in these experiences. You gotta treat yourself. Honestly, right before I filmed this, because once again, I was in a funk, one thing that motivated me to film this is I'm gonna go get a massage. I scheduled a massage. I'm like, I'm paying for this massage subscription. Let me go ahead and get it. I got a massage. And I feel much better. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't be wasting my money on that. That's a waste of money. Let me tell you, I was like, that's a waste of money. Getting a massage is not a waste of money. I can tell you that 100% sure. It is not a waste of money. You feel rejuvenated, relaxed. And if you have a great massage therapist, they talk to you too and help you out and give you life advice. It's like therapy. That's massage therapy. You get a massage and a therapy session in one. Bam, go get a massage, eat a snack, buy some coffee. Take a hot bubble bath. Take a hot bubble bath. It will revolutionize. It will revolutionize your day. Take a hot bubble bath, put a bath bomb in it, turn on some music, candle, and do that. For my believers out there, read your Bible and journal. Reading your Bible and journaling can help you out of a funk and help you get some energy and be rejuvenated. I do have something. I actually have a devotional coloring book that I love. I have a devotional coloring book. Oh, Jesus Christ. It was hard to get this coloring book. But I have a devotional coloring book that I love, and it has scriptures and prayers in it. And I just color. And I love this thing. I really do. I love this thing because I get a chance to go to the beach and everywhere else. So get you a devotional coloring book, get you some coloring pages. That helps get you out of a funk. Get dressed. Get dressed. Whenever you're feeling like, oh, it's horrible, I'm terrible, I don't feel like it today, put some clothes on. Let me tell you, you staying in your pajamas all day is cool for some days, but honey, put you a dress on, put you some heels on, put a shawl on, put a suit on, whatever. I don't care if you stay in the house all day. Get dressed. Put some clothes on, look nice, throw some perfume on, smell good, look good, do all of that. It'll make you feel better. Um and we're not I'm getting to our last couple of points, but this is something that I had to work on. Stop waiting for great things to happen. You have to stop waiting for great things to happen. And it's like, how does that go with being tired? Sometimes you get tired, not just from being productive, but sometimes you get tired from inaction. You are overthinking and racking your brain so much about, once again, like that, not living in the present moment, racking your brain so much about yesterday, today, tomorrow, all that kind of stuff, that you are not taking action, and you are waiting, and you are in a waiting game where you're in, once again, a paralysis. So don't wait. The time is now. Live in that moment. Do the things you need to do. Do the things you want to do to enjoy life. Don't overthink it as much. Easier said than done, of course. I'm an overthinker. Don't overthink it as much and stop waiting. Stop waiting for great things to happen and create those great things. Create that routine where you know, take a bubble bath. Create that routine. I polished my nails today. I never polished my nails. I ain't polished my nails since the summer, 15 months ago. Do those things. Stop waiting and just do the things that make you happy. Stop waiting for those things to happen. You have to create that opportunity. And my very last thing is stop forcing yourself. We're not here to force ourselves into exhaustion. If you are exhausted, take a break and sit down and relax and do something you love. Even if you are doing something you love all the time, take a break and sometimes do nothing. Yeah, we should push ourselves. You know how they say, even when you don't feel like it, do it when you don't feel like it. Yeah, there's discipline, but sometimes you just don't need to be disciplined. Sometimes you need to sit back, relax, and live. We're not machines. We're not robots. We're not AI. We are people. We are people. It's okay to be and exist. And that's all I have to say. Please don't put too much on your plate. It's making you tired. Enjoy your life. Live in the present moment. Enjoy others. Get dressed. Go somewhere nice. Do something nice for yourself. Treat yourself. Self-care. Take a hot bubble bath and journal. Um, get the things that you need to get done. Be productive, but don't force yourself into exhaustion. There's a balance, and we all are learning that balance. But you can do it. I believe in you. We can do it. I believe in us. And this was another episode of the Ginger Snaps podcast. I'll catch y'all next time. Love you. Bye. Stop chasing money.
Upward mobility, feel like I'm constantly fighting my sanity. Cause of my strict routine, trying to get out of screen capital is a thing, feeling like a machine trying to get out of steam. Upward mobility, feel like I'm constantly fighting my sanity. Cause of my strict routine, trying to get out of screen capital is a thing, feeling like a machine trying to get